Hey, have you ever been on the fence about a gaming laptop because you're not sure if it's going to survive your weekend raids, your daily commute, and those late-night streaming sessions without breaking the bank? I was in the same spot last month, scrolling through endless specs and worrying whether I'd end up with a glorified desktop that I couldn't even carry to a coffee shop. If you're thinking about the GIGABYTE Gaming A16, the link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. Let's walk through what it actually feels like to live with this machine and see if it's the sweet spot you've been hunting for, or just another high-price hype piece. First off, the A16's most noticeable design choice is the 180-degree hinge, and a chassis that measures just under 20 mm at its thickest. That means you can literally flip the screen flat on a desk and keep the keyboard tucked away, which is a surprising comfort for a 15-inch laptop that's meant to run a full-blown RTX 5060. In practice, that hinge lets you set it up in a cramped dorm room or on a cramped airline tray, and the slim profile doesn't get in the way of a backpack's side pocket. The downside? The ultra-slim build keeps the cooling vents relatively close together, and under sustained load, think a 2-hour battlefield marathon, the fans spin up to a noticeable whine. It's not a scream, but you'll hear it if you're trying to listen to a podcast while gaming. The heart of the A16 is an AMD Ryzen 7 260 processor paired with 16 GB of DDR5 RAM. On paper, that combo sounds like a future-proof powerhouse, and for most current titles it delivers smooth frame rates at 1080p with medium to high settings. What that really means for you is that you can launch Fortnite or Valorant and still have a few cores free for background streaming software like OBS. I tested a scenario where I opened a Twitch stream, ran Discord, and kept a web browser tab open all while the game was running. The frame rate stayed steady around 70 FPS, and there were no stutters, which is a solid indicator that the CPU isn't choking under multitasking pressure. The thing to keep in mind is that the Ryzen 7 260 is not the newest Zen 4 generation, it's a Zen 3 chip from a generation back. If you're planning to edit 4K video, or run heavy AI workloads daily, you'll start feeling the age gap soon. Now, the graphics card, NVIDIA's GeForce RTX 5060, the first of the Blackwell line. This GPU sits between the older RTX 3060 and the newer RTX 4070 in terms of raw horsepower. In real-world tests, it handled Elden Ring at 1920-1200 with the built-in 165Hz panel at around 55 to 60 FPS on medium settings. That's enough to keep the experience fluid, but you'll have to compromise on ultra-high textures if you want to push the frame rate above 70 FPS consistently. A more niche strength is its ray tracing capability. If you enable DLSS 2 in Cyberpunk 2077, you'll see a tangible boost, but you won't get the full cinematic fidelity you'd see on a desktop RTX 4070. So for gamers who love the idea of ray tracing, but are okay with a little visual compromise, the RTX 5060 is a decent middle ground. One of the features that actually surprised me was GIGABYTE's GiMATE AI assistant. It's built into Windows 11 Home and pops up on the desktop to suggest performance tweaks, game mode toggles, and even quick launch shortcuts based on what you're doing. In a test where I switched from a casual Minecraft session to a competitive League of Legends match, GiMATE recognized the change and automatically shifted the power plan to high performance while dimming background processes. The assistant isn't perfect, it occasionally suggests a tweak that you've already set manually, but it adds a layer of convenience that can help less tech-savvy users squeeze a bit more juice out of the hardware without digging into BIOS menus. Battery life is often the Achilles heel for gaming laptops, and the A16 is no exception. With a 56Wh battery, you can expect about 3 to 4 hours of regular productivity work, but once you fire up a demanding title, the drain drops to roughly 1.5 hours before you're scrambling for a charger. If you plan to game on the go, you'll need a power brick in your bag anyway, so this isn't a deal breaker, just a reality check. The good news is the charger is a 230W unit that can charge the laptop to 50% in under an hour, which is handy if you have a short window between classes or meetings. Who should consider buying the A16? If you're a mid-range gamer who wants a portable rig that can handle the current AAA slate without breaking the bank, this laptop lands squarely in your sweet spot. It's also a decent pick for content creators who dabble in streaming. The CPU combo can handle a 1080p stream while you game, and the 165Hz screen gives you that buttery smoothness you'd appreciate when you're practicing fast-paced shooters. The